Budgeting is legit depressing. It's financial despair. I have always hated it. And not because I don't like discipline or financial discipline, quite the opposite. I think the problem with budgeting is that you have to start from the assumption that you can't have the life you want. It assumes this is my fixed paycheck and everything has to fit within this constraint. And that's fundamentally wrong. And that's not how I like to think. The real solution is brutally simple. You design the life that you want, and then you price up exactly what it's going to cost, and then you build the income engine required in order to support it. Your lifestyle should not shrink to fit your income. Your income should expand to match your desired lifestyle. So here's the real problem with budgeting. It teaches you to negotiate against yourself. You start with your income, which is usually capped, taxed and delayed and then skimmed before it even gets to your account. And then you try and squeeze your entire life into what fragments remain. And this is why it feels depressing. You're solving for limitation instead of solving for the life that you actually want. Here's the model that actually works. You design your life from first principles. You answer the important questions. The first one, where do I want to live? In which country? What pace of life do I want to operate at? Do I want to stay in one place or do I want to be moving around? How do you want to eat, travel, and train? What experiences matter to you? This is just a spec sheet, it's not a fantasy. This is sitting down and being honest with yourself about the life that you truly want and working out what it actually looks like. Once you've got a good idea of what that life actually is, the next step is to sit down and price it. You write down the actual numbers: rent, flights, holidays, restaurants, gym, travel, healthcare, hobbies, all of it. Don't leave anything out. No shame, no guilt, just pure math with the aim of arriving at a true realistic number for the life that you actually want. And then once you know the price of life, then you work backwards. You see, it becomes a limiting factor. You choose only jobs, skills, industries, and business models that can realistically produce and support that number. Depending on the number you land on, it will automatically rule out 90% of things. And this requires that you kill the scarcity script. You're not overspending, you're under-earning relative to the life that you want. And that's an income model problem, not a character flaw. I've thought like this back ever since I was a teenager, and it's honestly changed every decision I've made throughout my life. And the kind of lifestyle that I wanted, or what I thought I wanted back then versus how I'm actually living now versus what I want in the future, this is something that's constantly evolving. But despite that, I've always used the same approach, and I've tried to be realistic about what I truly want and not think about it from a place of scarcity. And I've priced it honestly. During this process, I've sort of realized that my number is somewhere between, and it's fluctuated over time, but between $100,000 and $200,000 per year. And that is cash. That is not a salary. And there is a huge difference between the two. In a lot of countries, you might get taxed at about 30 or 40% on your income. And you'll also probably have to contribute to a retirement savings and other things. So if you're earning a salary, you might only get to keep 60% of it. Therefore, if you run this calculation and your number is $100,000, it does not mean that getting $100,000 is going to solve this lifestyle. It's quite the opposite. It means that the salary you'll actually require is probably $180,000 or $200,000, especially if you've underestimated the true number. When I first did this, I found my number was around $150,000 cash per year, and I realized that 90% of jobs automatically disqualified themselves immediately. And this was good. I was basically forced to choose between a high-paid profession such as law or engineering or entrepreneurship. Now, ultimately, I chose entrepreneurship for two reasons, because one, it suited my personality, and two, because in going through the exercise and imagining the lifestyle I wanted, I didn't want to spend 40 hours per week working in a technical job. That was never the dream. And so on that basis, I reverse engineered, what skills are going to be worth the most to society. They're going to be high value. They're going to be easy to build a enduring business around that isn't going to get annihilated by artificial intelligence or going to be brutally subject to economic cycles and fluctuating demand. And accounting and finance is ultimately what I landed on because it's stable, useful, it's high trust, it's in constant demand, it's needed by virtually every business, and it has entrepreneurial pathways. I certainly didn't choose accounting and finance because of passion. And I think that that's a mistake that a lot of people make. They get told to follow your passion. I would disagree with that advice. I don't think that that's good advice. For at least for a lot of people, it's not good advice. It sounds good, but it's not. The reason I chose to study accounting and finance is because I knew it would provide the income engine to build the life that I actually wanted to live. For example, if your target ends up being something like $20,000 per month of free cash, which is honestly what's required today if you want to live a global mobile lifestyle, especially in the big cities like New York, London, and Dubai, well then guess what? Almost every job on earth is automatically disqualified. But that's good news. Constraint makes the path obvious. Right now I know exactly what my number is. Like here in Medellin, Colombia, I'm living relatively cheaply and low-key. I'm spending about $6,000 per month here. And that gets a very high standard of living. I virtually don't need to look at prices. But $6,000 per month is not the number that I want to make. I want to expand. And realistically, I know my number sits between $10,000 and $20,000 of free cash that I'm available to spend per month. I think anything on top of that is just going to be cream, but really that provides the international lifestyle where you can show up to expensive cities like Sydney, Australia, London, New York, and really not be overly too bothered. You've got plenty of money to cover anything that you may need. I don't want to be constrained to having to live in places like Bali or in Latin America just because the economics work better. And so $10,000 to $20,000 per month puts me with a requirement of roughly $150,000 to $250,000 of profit per year in the business. And so anything that can't achieve that is totally irrelevant to my goals. And this clarity makes decision making very simple. And it's one of the reasons why I'm building a business on this YouTube channel to show how you can build an engine like this in real time. When you know the number that you need in order to support the lifestyle that you want, your career becomes a calculation, not chaos. It takes all the guesswork out of it. Budgeting compresses your world. It compresses your lifestyle to fit under the ceiling of whatever your income is at the time. Life design forces you to expand it. Most people spend their entire lives trying to fit their lifestyle underneath the ceiling of their paycheck. No wonder they feel trapped. No wonder they feel like they're stuck in a system. No wonder they feel like they're going nowhere. And then they feel guilt when they spend money on the things they truly want. It's just that's just depressing. If you want it, you've got to design for it from day one. The correct sequence is to design it, price it, and then build the engine to support it. Your income should be solving for the life that you want, not your life shrinking to fit the income level that you happen to have at the time. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I drop one like this every 48 hours and I hope to see you in the next one.